Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another stream. Hopefully, sound is good. If the sound is good, just drop a comment into the chat. Tell me how good the sound sounds. Hope everyone's doing well. Looks like we are live on Twitch and live on the YouTube. Paddy Jim is there, says all good, brilliant. Let's rock and roll. So today, what we're hoping for is good sound throughout, and also a good internet connection all the way through. Because last week, for want of a better word, crapped out. So yeah, we should be okay, I think. And so today what we're going to do, you can see in the top right hand corner of the playing screen, it says 30 big blinds, low jack versus big blind. I've just put myself in the big blind, so every single spot is going to be us in the big blind, but every single spot is also going to be 30 big blinds, low jack versus the big blind. So I decided to choose this one. I've been playing around with the GTO app, and out of position, 30 big blinds, low jack versus big blinds, I thought I can probably do a little bit better. So let's try drilling some hands in this and learning from it, and seeing where I'm making mistakes, and then being able to pull up the solution straight away and see where I'm going wrong. I think would be quite good. So okay, let's do a little bit of cheating. Let's have a look here. Woody says, how's it going, Woody? On Twitch, he says, we always six-handed this time. So just for these hands, it's literally just low jack versus big blind. So all of these positions have folded, and that's going to be the case in every single hand. So it's always going to be low jack versus big blind, and we're just going to get different boards. So we're always going to have the first decision. We either want to bet, to jam, or to check. And so in the top right hand corner, you can see villain's range looks like this from the low jack. Our range looks something like this, and then equity of our hand against the villain's range is 42%, and our equity range versus range is pretty good. So this is like obviously one of the better boards for us. Now I think this is one of those spots where people think, oh no, this board's way better for big blind. Big blind's got range advantage here. It's very unusual for the big blind to ever have range advantage. It might be like really slight, like just over 50%. In terms of like equity, if you think about just equity advantage. But usually in position, even if it's quite small, they're still always going to have the equity advantage. So it might be like, as you can see in this one, it's like 53 versus 47. So this is a better board for us than other boards, but not necessarily a better board, or it isn't a better board for us than for the villain. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, there might be some leading on this board. I'm going to start with a check. Let's pull this up as well. We can see the last action check looks okay. We have a straight draw here. I think call looks good. Maybe we're supposed to raise if we have a spade. Maybe. Let's see. 1 second. I'm going to start the timer in the top right hand corner. We'll go for a call, see what it says. So call looks okay. 10 of spades. So when we check and he bets big on this board, I expect him to have somewhat polarized range. And also versus the big bet size, we're going to continue with, reasonably good hands, right? Which means that we folded all of our garbage, and it means that on this 10 of spades, we can have a lot of flushes. So we might get to lead here with some of our range. I don't think we get to lead with this hand, but we'll soon find out. Okay, check. Looks okay. And then we face another bet here. So I think this is probably 60-ish% again. And I think we just got to fold now because we are going to have some flushes. We're going to have two pair. We might have a straight. We're going to have pair and a draw. So like 7-8 with a spade might get to call, but I think this one probably folds. So that's what I'm going to do. Fold looks okay. Cool. So another low board. I'm not sure about this one, whether there's much leading going on. I want to say no. So anyway, I'm going to check. We face a big bet again, so we're just going to go for a call here. I don't think he gets to bet everything here. It's not like an amazing spot for him. You can see equity hero versus range. I mean, we're doing okay against his range here. Equity range versus range, we're not doing too badly, but this is after he's bet. So if we'd gone back, I can't remember what it said before he'd bet, but this is our equity now with our range against his betting range, not all of his range, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyway, I think call is good. Queen of Hearts on the turn. He bets once again. So yeah, so this is, I was talking about earlier, and I was like playing out of position 30 big blinds deep in this spot. I didn't feel like I was playing particularly well. Flop, I think I was playing pretty well. Turns and rivers, though, I really didn't think I was playing well. And this is like one of those spots where I'm just like not 100% sure. So on the one hand, obviously we have third pair. It doesn't look like we've got a very good hand, but I also think there's quite a good card for him to bet. So let's have a think about other hands that we could have. Well, we could have some Queen X hands, like Queen 4, Queen 6, maybe even like Queen X with a backdoor flush draw. Gets to continue, certainly like King Queen or Queen Jack, I think, with a backdoor flush draw. So yeah, I think this is we're gonna have better hands. We're gonna have 5x, obviously. We're gonna have like pair and a draw, so like 6-5, 5-4, 6-3, 6-2. I mean, like ace deuce, ace 3, ace 5. We could have a straight. We could have 6-4, ace 4. Stuff like that. Question is coming from Jerry on YouTube. Says, I think this is a fold pre, which is a very good point. It was just a min raise versus the low jack, so I know that we are supposed to defend pretty wide, and I'm fairly confident that these solutions are decent. But yeah, I think it's a good question nonetheless. So yeah, I'm really unsure as to what we're supposed to do here. I do think we've got better hands. I'm going to fold, but I think that this could be one of those spots where we're supposed to call. Oh no, fold looks okay. Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay, here then you can see our equity really poor this time. So we're gonna check. And we have a gut shot here and an overcard. I'd obviously prefer to have like Queen 8 of diamonds here, I think. But I think our hand's still good enough to call. Ooh, look at this. Minus 32.86. We've definitely got to come back to this because that's a clear mistake. I'm going to check. Won't check. I think, I mean, we're not supposed to land on this river with this hand, so, not really sure what you're supposed to do in those situations. But, yeah, you can see our equity with our hand against our opponent's range, 3%. So, yeah, unlikely that we ever get to see a showdown. Because with any hand worse than this that he has, then I assume he's going to bluff it on the river. So I'm just going to go for a bet. But this, we shouldn't be going down this branch of the game tree anyway. So yeah, we made a mistake on the flop. Benjamin96 says, are these hands that you've played or just random hands? They're just random hands being pulled from PIO. So this is the new GTO Trainer within PIOSolver, PIOSolver 2. 2.0, and so I've run these sims before. There's like a couple of hundred flops in there, but it's pulling from exactly the same spot every time. Low jack versus big blind for 30 big blinds, and we're just running through them and seeing how we play. And we made a mistake, so we're going to look at this one later on. We're going to check here. I really feel like I should take this off because I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. We face a really small bet. We have a gut shot. I don't think I want to fold, so I'm going to call. Call looks okay. 10 of spades, check. He bets small again. I don't think our hand is good enough to continue now, so I'm just going to fold. Okay, so I'm glad that I took the equity off because this is one of those flops now where it's much better for him than it is for me. So I can show you this one. Let me see if I can pull this in. So this is our range. I know that Jerry said that King 3 off was a fold, but I've got it as a call here. This is our defending range for 30 big blinds, big blind versus low jack. And yeah, anyway, that's what our range looks like. It's not a very good board for us. He has like aces, jacks. Does he have threes? Let's have a quick look. A little bit of threes. He's going to have aces and ace jack and all the better ace x hands that we don't have. He's going to have jacks obviously as well, and yeah, so this is just not a great spot for not a great spot for us. You can see that, I mean, what's the board? Ace jack 3. So we do have a set, and we do actually have some ace jack in here. So it's quite interesting. I still think it's going to be much better for him. We are, you know, we're 3-betting or jamming some of these pairs and ace x hands. Let's just have a quick look at equity. Yeah, so yeah. I was just seeing that ace jack there, and I thought, wow, maybe it's not so bad, but it is. I mean, it is. Question from Woody says, we're seeing a fair number of flops and folding turns. Isn't that highly exploitable? I think that if the solver says it's okay to fold, then it's okay to fold. Like, the solver's, you know, not going to be exploitable, right? It's playing close to optimally based on the bet sizes and the parameters that we put in. So yeah, I don't think we're not. Yeah, we've basically we had 3 or 4 flops, 3 or 4. How many hands have we done? 6 hands. So we've done 5 hands because I played one just before I started the stream. So this is the 5th hand. Like, yeah, we're to be exploitable. Like, the guy would need to know that we were folding too much, and we're not folding too much because we're just folding like the solver would do, right? Or playing just like the solver. Anyway, we're going to check, and we're going to fold because this is a really bad spot for us. Ace 10. So goes for a small bet. I think ace 10 is probably good enough here. Obviously would prefer to have like a spade in our hands. King of diamonds, he goes for the big bet again. So this is a classic one of those spots where I'm like I feel like this is kind of close, right, as to whether we should call. So we're going to have some king x. We're going to have like 4x of spades. We're going to have combo draws. So we could have 3x of diamonds, but we could have like 6-5 of spades, 6-5 of diamonds, 7-5 of spades, 7-5 of diamonds. Those kind of hands, 5 deuce, ace 5, those kind of hands. Then we just have the flush draws and the backdoor flush draws, not even just combo draws. So I think we do have enough hands. So I'm going to go for the fold, but yeah, let's see. Okay, cool. Fold looks okay. Jack 8-4, we're going to check and just fold. So just in case it isn't clear, these flops that we're playing through is not like it's not just random. Well, it is random hands, but it's not random hands that I've played. It's coming straight from a solver, right? So if it says on here that fold is okay, then the fold's going to be okay. Like, it's not. This isn't my subjective assessment of whether or not the play is good. So if this program says it's okay, then it's probably going to be okay. Here with top pair and decent kicker, I think this is good enough to raise for value. Looks like it is. And now we're going to just bet and get it in. Looks good. And just continue to bet. So I think some of you might be looking at this and thinking, like, do we get called by enough weaker hands in this spot when we check raise flop, bet turn, and jam river? Like, he's got all the overpairs. He's going to have sets. He can have 2 pair already, like queen 10, for example. But I think like he can have like queen 9, and then we can put him in a tough spot with jacks and 10x. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be a value bet on the river. Looks like it's good, and he did hero call us with a 10, so go us. It's interesting because I was talking about this with my group on Monday, and we're talking about how when you play poker, when you actually play poker, not using one of these apps, when you play poker, you don't really get good feedback because, you know, you can win the hand and have played it terribly, and you can lose the hand and have played the hand really, really well. So you don't really get good feedback. And with these programs, you get feedback telling you whether or not you played the hand well, which is good. But there's always this tendency to, like, you know, see what they do. Like, well, what did they have? And like, okay, he had a 10 this time, but that doesn't mean that my play was good just because he called with a 10. My play was good because I get called by, you know, hands similar to that, and we get value. We get enough value. There are enough hands that he has to call with that we get value from. But if he'd shown up with, you know, a set of 10s there or aces, then we we've still played the hand exactly the same. We just ended up losing it, and that's just poker, right? Sometimes you're going to lose even though you made the right decision. We're going to check here and call and check. Oh, and I don't think he has too many 5x in his range to just go check back, because I think that ace 5, 6, 5 would just bet again, just having a pair in a draw. So I feel like our 3 might just be like good enough to go for some decent value here. So the options we've got, where's the size of the pot? 826. So 25%, 67%, 125%, and jam for like just over 3x pot. So I'm torn at the moment between blocking and forcing him to just continue with a wider range of hands on the river, and going for a slightly bigger 2/3 pot. But yeah, these river decisions are tricky. This is where you like win and lose a lot of EV. I guess lose it because you don't really. When you use these programs, you're not really winning EV because you're just trying to play close to 0. So you only lose EV. Jerry on YouTube says, in the 10-9 hand, having the 9 wasn't good for him. No, but again, it's the solver, right? It's not a human playing this. This is the solver calling. So yeah, clearly 10-9 was a good call in an equilibrium world. Okay, I'm going to go for a block. Let's see what happens. Okay, so block looks to be not the right decision. He now raises, and I think we have to call in an equilibrium world, but maybe against population we would fold. Okay, I'm gonna go for a call. Call looks okay. Fine. I think what would be really good for this software, this built-in GTO Trainer, is for them to tell me what I should have done, right? So that last action, it told me that it was bad. Like it told me like minus 2.65, but like, tell me what I should have done. Like, should I have gone for the 2/3 pot bet? Should I have checked? You know, what is it? And we could, we can open the tree and have a look, but I mean, maybe we should just do that right now. It shouldn't take too long. Okay. So it went check, bet, call, and the turn was a 5. Let me check. It was a 5 of diamonds. Went check, 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 and then the river was the 2 of hearts. Okay, so what do we have? King deuce? No, king 3. Okay, so it's just pure check. Okay, cool. And an anonymous cheer. Thanks for the cheer. I don't know what that is actually, but I really appreciate the cheer of 1 bit. Okay, so it should just be a check. So we get to jam with some king deuce. Let's look at the strategy instead. Jamming king deuce, so jamming quite a lot of deuce X, and this is quite in keeping with what we talk about in the podcast this week. So our 100th episode came out this week, which is amazing. We've recorded 100 episodes. We've actually recorded 102, but yeah, episode 100 came out on Monday, and yeah, we're talking about rivering a miracle to outer. And how the solver, when you do have a very, very strong hand, likes to put a lot of chips in, obviously. And you can see that, yeah, that's what's going on here with trips. So yeah, going for a very, very big bet. And Paddy Jim making a reference to the podcast where it says insert air horns here. I really thought the editor was gonna insert air horns, but I was literally just waiting around, just going like, is he gonna do them? Is he gonna do them? No, honestly, I thought he would do, but sadly, no air horns in the episode. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're just supposed supposed to check. We check, and let's say he goes for a 90% bet, and we actually just supposed to fold probably most of the time. Okay, that's pretty cool to see. One thing in the new PIO, by the way, is that you can make it show you the bet size and the size of the pot. So like size in chips and the size is as a percentage of the pot. So that's pretty cool. Like you got here like bet 7.14, 714. It's 86.4% pot, and you got a third pot here as well. So pretty nice feature, I would say. Right, let's just move that out of the way. Don't want PIO to close. Okay, so we're going to check again here. Check looks good, and two options, call or raise, basically. So having the deuce of spades does mean that we could catch a 4, an ace, or a 6, potentially, just to improve us to a straight draw, that we can then play aggressively on the turn. So maybe that makes us want to call more and then check raise the turn or check jam the turn. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to go for a call. Call looks okay. We have a lot more 3x than he does, like for sure. Especially versus a small bet. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some leads here. So we've got 25%, whatever this is, like 87% or something. It'll be the geometric size. So yeah, I think that we might get to do some leading. I prefer it to be like a 5, I think. But I do think we get to do some leads here. We do have like all of those offsuit 3x plus all the suited 3x, ace 3, king 3. We don't have queen 3. That's why I prefer it to be the 5, I think. Let's do a bit of cheating. So we do have king 3 and ace 3 as we thought. We have all of these 3x here as well, but we don't have in here. So yeah, let's go for the... if we can check raises here as well. So the way I'm thinking here is that we could lead because we have more 3x, and he's going to fold some hands that are better than 8 high. Plus we have a chance to improve on the river. The other option is to go for a check raise, but I'm not sure that he bets the turn that frequently. So let's go for a bet and see what happens. Okay, cool. So I think this is a really good feature. So basically this is not what we want to do. Because it says a selected and dominated action. So it probably means that this happens never. And we should always just, well, maybe we might do some small betting, but I think that's quite cool. Because then it doesn't send you down a branch of the game tree that shouldn't happen. So I think that's quite good. Check looks okay. 8 high flush draw. I've got an idea of what I want to do here, guys, but let's throw it over to you. What do you want to do? I'm going to answer some questions in that have come through on YouTube. You tell me in the chat, guys, what you want to do in this spot now versus the big turn bet. Sampic says hashtag podcast on YouTube. I don't think those commands work on YouTube. You have to go on to Twitch to do that. Twitch.tv/MTT Poker School. So yeah, the podcast is called Poker on the Mind. It's available on all podcast apps. And so, yeah, just check it out. We are actually uploading the video form of the podcast now to YouTube. So every other episode goes on my channel, and then the ones in between go on Trisha's channel. I believe I'm not 100% sure what her channel URL is, but you can search for Dr. Trisha Cardner on YouTube and you'll find it. I've also created a playlist for Poker on the Mind, so all of the available episodes are on there. And the first episode that's on that playlist is just audio, but then from episode 90-something, we've got the videos on there for you as well. So if you want to support the podcast, but also listen to the podcast and watch us as well. I do think that ever since we started making the videos, it's a bit more interesting, like because you actually like can see each other and we recognize that we need to be dynamic, right? Whereas on the, when you're just recording the audio, you're just like, yeah, that's really interesting, and then I 3-bet, and it's just not that it's not that great. So yeah, check out the podcast. We are up to 100 episodes. As I said, the videos are available as well. Let's see here. Diego on YouTube. Hey Gareth, just one question about PIO 2. I have the old PIO. Do I need to buy the new version, or is it just an update? Thanks. So it's a brand new version. It's an upgrade rather than an update. If you bought the software recently, I think that you can get the upgrade for free. If you bought it in since maybe this year or something, then you get a 50% discount, something like this. Like I'm making it up, but you get a discount. And then if you bought it maybe in the last 6 months or something, you get a little bit more of a discount. And if you bought it like you're an existing user, I think you get 30% discount. And the price is the same as it was for the original. So you just get a 30% discount if you bought PIO a long time ago. So yeah, but I think it's really good. It's much faster. It's got built-in. It's a new algorithm, so it's 2x as fast just normally. But then they've got this other algorithm which can run trees up to 4 or 5 times faster as well. So if you're doing scripts or just want to run some flops quickly, like it's really, really good. And I would definitely recommend it. Like I got it as soon as it came out on last Tuesday, and I've just been playing with it ever since. I think it's amazing. They've also got a really cool job queue feature where you can run hands. So for example, like I would always want to like run hands at the end of the day overnight, and then in the morning put a coffee on and come back and analyze some hands. But you could do that. You could set up like loads of instances of PIO, but if you could only do like, depending on, I mean, I've got 32 gig of RAM, but like if you could quickly run out of memory, right? But if your computer could run them back to back, then that would be amazing. So they did that. They created a job queue thing where you can run sims one after the other, and then wake up to loads of sims to run, as long as Windows Update didn't decide to do its thing overnight. Okay. So everyone says, seems to, oh no, let's have a look at this. Not a good enough price, fold. So I think, Paddy, you're thinking more of like, can you call? But what about if, you could jam? Have you thought about that option as well? Jam as a bluff. Woody's gone for a fold. 8 Cassius, fold. Vildmed Marry, easy shove. Okay, 8 Cassius, hello and good to see you again. How's it going? Good to see you as well. Although I can't see you. I can see you in the chat though. Benjamin, fold. I hate the board pairing and the bet size. Vildmed Marry says, or fold. Stack size fold from Hero Call Poker, and PIO hates giving up EQ. That's also from Vildmed Marry. Let's have a look on YouTube. Yeah, I was thinking, is it crazy to just fold? Maybe jam with 30% frequency. I think leading turn small is better. Fold now is best. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think those are some good options. Tyler says on YouTube, my biggest problem is I can old upgrade to 2 basics, so I have to pay. Oh, I guess you're saying you can't old upgrade to 2 basics, so I have to pay full price if I want pro now. Okay, yeah, that's I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold, by the way. Fold looks okay. Boom. Well done, everyone who said fold. 10-9 then. King Queen 7. Gonna check. Versus the big bet. We have a gut shot. We have a backdoor flush draw. I would like to continue. We've already seen me get one gut shot on the flop wrong with their Queen 8 of Hearts earlier on, but let's see. Cool looks okay here. Blank on the turn doesn't really change things. I don't think we do any leading. He bets again, and we're going to fold. And Woody was right earlier. We are doing a lot of folding on the turn, but that's just, it's just the right thing to do, right? It's there's not much we can do on these runouts. So it's just a small sample size where we just didn't get to continue. Okay, so straight draw, 2 overs. If we check raise, we do strengthen his range significantly. So I think call looks good. Ooh, hello. We won't be folding on this turn card. Do we get to lead? Not because we've made a straight, but because the 9 is better for us. Like, we're obviously going to have 7-8. Do we have 7-8 versus that big size? I think so. King, Queen. Yeah, we might start to see some leads here, but I'm going to start with a check. Check looks good. So 2 options, call or jam. Over to you guys once again. What are we going for? Do you want to slam it in with the nut straight, or do you want to call and give him an opportunity to maybe continue either value betting or bluffing river? Paddy Jim, great question here on Twitch, says, does Villain, which is this guy in our example, does he ever check? Well, no. not on the boards that we've seen. I mean, that should probably show you that you should be doing lots of betting in these situations when you're playing in position versus the big blind. Okay, what have we got? We've got Woody says push it real good. Vildmed Mary says jam. I just want to say it's like yeah. Anyway, I was thinking like we'll move on where that was going. Hero Cool Poker says slam. Jandro says call. We've got Jerry on YouTube saying call as well. So I guess like there are some river cards that not obviously like, you know, if it pairs the board, like it's not like we're going to fold. I'm not saying that we call and then with the intention of folding. We're never folding this hand. But there are some river cards that he's going to check back the river on that he might just stack off with now. So like for example, an 8, a queen, a king, stuff like that. Maybe even an ace. But also like an ace could be quite a good card for him to bet. So let's think about our range for a moment. We're going to have some pair plus draw. So we might have like queen 10, queen 9. We can have queen jack. I feel like check raises quite a lot on the flop. Queen 6, 6 8, 10 8, 9 8, stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like if we're going to be calling those hands, I don't think we get to check jam those hands. If we're going to check call those hands, then I think we probably want to call here as well. Lewis on YouTube says we should jam because too many cards kill our action. Yeah. Benjamin, hard not to shove with the nuts. Jandro says, can you check what percentage raises flop with this combo, please? Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a moment. Hero Cool Poker says stack size again, so it's 30 big blinds. Says it just up here, and then so we're essentially the big blinds 100. So there's 24.6 big blinds back, and he's got the rest minus the 7.6 in the middle. I'm going to call. Let's see what happens. So call looks okay. Here's a paired pair on the river. I'm going to check, and now he jams, and I don't need to ask you guys what you would do with the nut straight. Look at that. Wow. He barreled it off with the old king 5. Okay, let's have a look at some of these questions because I think they were quite good. Benjamin says, if we call, we are hoping villain stacks off on most rivers. Yeah, but we also we have to think about how our rest of our range plays as well. Because if we just jam the strong hands on the turn, then we have quite a weak range going into the river. And then we don't get the guy to slam it in with king 5 on the end. So, yeah. I can't remember how big he went. Let's have a look. So he went for the big bet size, and what's got Jandro says, can you check what percentage raises flop with this combo, please? With this combo, which combo did we have? King of clubs, queen of hearts. So actually jams 16% and calls 84%. Okay. Let's have a look. Bobby on YouTube says easy jam. Hero Cool Poker, SPR of V. Do you mean 5? I'm not sure if that's a Roman numeral or something else. Oh, SPR of villain. Yeah, well, it's the same for us, right? We're playing effective. We've both got the same stack size at the start of the hand. Okay, yeah. So SPR of villain on the turn seems too low for effective bluffing on the river. I mean, I don't think it is. He's still got 1700 or 17 bigs back to then jam for whatever it is, 62% pot on the river. So I think that he can definitely bluff river. Like we're gonna have like those pair plus draw type hands that completely bricked, right? Like a 10-8 for example, not massively loving it. Our 9x obviously improved significantly, but yeah. So I think what the biggest takeaway for me here is how much jamming we do. Okay, it's only 1% of our overall range, but with our actual hand, we actually do a decent amount of jamming. with king queen off, a bit more with other combos, but I think that's pretty cool to see. What happened in the rest of the hand? Check. Villain bets. What was the turn? 9 of hearts, of course, because we got there. We don't do any leading. Check. He goes for a bet, and we just have a pure call. There's no jamming here. We do get to jam 2 pair, Jack 10. We get to jam the straight Queen 8 here. See, all the Queen 8 there is the Queen 8 with the backdoor flush draw. So earlier on, I called with a gut shot with no backdoor flush draw. So I can't remember if it must have been against the bigger bet size. I can't imagine that we fold a gut shot versus the small bet. Okay, yeah, and I'm going to call with our Jack X. So we look at our range. So I said about pair plus draw type hands. Yeah, like Queen 9, just going to go for a call. Queen Jack when it doesn't raise the flop. We've got some, King 10 and Queen 10. I think I talked about certainly Queen 10, Queen 9, 10 8. So all of these hands going to go for a call. So it looks like we're shoving like the strong hands, but somewhat more vulnerable perhaps. Whereas King Queen is just super strong here. The river was the 9 of clubs. And we do actually get to do some leading here. But then, yeah, he gets to bluff with King 5 and King 7. And looks like his value betting starts at King Jack. Yeah, King Jack. I was going to say, like, really jamming a 9, but of course he is because it's trips by the river. So yeah, his value betting is starting with King Jack. He jams any hand better than that. Maybe a bit of Queen Jack as well, by the looks of it. And then some bluffs too. And yeah, most of his bluffs are coming from King 7, King 5, and maybe a bit of Ace Deuce, Ace Deuce of spades. Okay, cool. So I think that was good. I think we played that hand well. 986. So let's see how good you guys are doing today. What is range versus range? What is our equity, do you reckon, on this board? Big blind versus low jack, 30 big blinds deep. Let me know in the chat. Okay, so Woody said we're ahead. Wildman Mary says pretty even. Okay. Hero Call Poker 37% equity. Okay. So remember I said right at the start that on boards that appear to be better for us, they're better because they're better than other boards, not because we're ahead. So the yeah, I think it's an important differentiation to make in this spot. Wildman Mary says under the gun has the nut advantage. Is that because you feel like he's got more 2-pair and sets, and we don't have many sets at all? Let's have a look. So 986 board. So we do have pocket sixes. We're going to have all the 9/8s. We're going to have 10-7 suited and 10-7 off when they don't have those hands. Sure, they've got the overpairs and stuff, and they'll have 9s and 8s too. But yeah, I think that, I mean, in terms of combos, I think we have way more combos, but as a proportion of our range, I think it might be closer. But I still feel like we're doing pretty well out of position. They're going to have 9s, 8s, and 6s in their range, and no 10-7 suited. So anyway, I'm going to start with a check. Let's have a look at the equities on YouTube. So we've got 37, 44, 60, 40, and 50%. And the answer is 45 point. Oh no, that's our range. Yeah, 45.52%. Cool. I'm going to go with a check. He goes for a small bet. Okay. And I think I'm just going to call. Ooh, 6 of hearts. I am going to lead here. Last time I went for a big bet. Mainly just want to bet big and then jam river for the same percentage of the pot. But yeah, if it flashes up again saying you know, dominated strategy or something, then okay, looks good though. Pretty happy with that. We'll try and whiz through a few more hands. We'll leave sort of 5-10 minutes at the end to go through some stuff. Some, you know, where we lost some EV. Got shot with a backdoor flush draw and an overcard. I don't know why I was doing this. Like I was trying to get a read, like, or trying to find his HUD stats or something. Jack 7 off. Yeah, I feel like we have enough here. Let's go for a call. Call looks good. Pretty bad card for us. We're not going to fold. Okay, start with a check again and fold. Nothing we can do here. Check. He bets small. I don't want to fold. We have 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw. It's just about whether we call or raise, actually. I'm going to go with call. Call looks okay, though. 4 of hearts on the turn. So I do think we want to do some leading here with our range, but with our actual hand, I'm not... Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, because it seems to me like we'd sooner lead something with equity. Although, you know, having a hand that leads and then, you know, gives up seems fine as well. Okay, well, let's go for the lead and see what happens. Actually looks okay. Cool. Jerry says this has to be a fold pre. No, I'm not sure if you guys are a little bit behind. I'm on to hand 18 now. The Jack 7 off. Jack 7 off's not a fold for 1 big blind. Let me show you the ranges again. Jack 7 off is bottom of the range. Cool. These are all the hands that we're defending versus a min raise. 30 big blinds deep, 8-handed, 8 max tournament. So yeah. Remember, it's with antes as well, like big blind ante, so we get to play a ton of hands. You can see down here, 64% of hands. Okay, 10-6, paired board, expecting to bet very small, or the small bet. Oh man, I want to do something with this hand, I think. Fold, probably. No, I think we get to... I feel like we could check raise. You know, we could hit diamond, a 9, a 7... a jack, you know, improves us to a little bit more. Maybe I'm just overthinking this, and maybe it's just a fold, but I'm going to go for raise. Okay, raise looks bad. Excellent. Well, that's good. We can definitely look at that in a moment. Okay, so what kind of hands could we get him to fold when we bluff here? Well, he could have like ace high with a backdoor flush draw, which hasn't improved. So like ace king, ace jack, ace 10 with a spade. I think yeah, so there are some hands. He might just bet call the flop with an underpair, maybe like a low pair, because yeah, 9s and 10s and jacks don't fold this turn, but I think like 4s and 5s might do. 4s and 5s with a spade I don't think folds the flop, so maybe we can get those hands to fold. We have improved, right, to a gut shot, so I feel like we probably should continue. But the thing is that we shouldn't be, I don't think, landing on this turn having raised, because, you know, you could see it was clearly a mistake. But anyway, betting looks good though on the turn, and he jams, and that we're just going to fold. Okay, going to check fold here. So Vildmed Murray says 10-6 is a fold, so we'll definitely check that. King 3 going to check. And so my first thought was fold. My second thought was, but we have a backdoor flush draw. I don't think it's going to be quite good enough. I don't think it's quite enough here. So yeah, I'm going to fold. Okay, so this could be the best play of the day. So I think everyone watching this is probably just thinking this is a check fold. I was playing a hand the other day and it was like 3 to a flush, 3 to a straight. We get to check raise as a bluff on these rainbow boards. Like, we got to have some rubbish bluffs as well. Versus the big bet. I mean, we can certainly get better hands to fold straight away. Better than 5 high, I mean. So I wouldn't be surprised to see raise as being an option here. I'm going to fold, but yeah. Okay, fold looks okay. Maybe it's a mix. Or I'm completely wrong. I'm going to check and fold. Going to do about 4 more minutes, guys, and then play through some hands. Okay, so I think we... I want to call here versus a small bet on a paired board. We do have some backdoor draws. Call looks good. And versus the big bet, can't do anything, so just going to fold. Field Mid Mary says, it's versus a smaller bet, I think we can check raise, but not versus the bigger than half pot. Really bad board for us. I mean, you know, for our hand, but also for our range, we're just going to check fold. Okay, so I think we've got to continue, whether we continue through a call or a raise. Let's go for a call. Oh, hello. Right, let's go for a bet. Okay then, so turn paired looks okay. We bet, you know, and now we have a decision on this river. He's certainly going to have like ace-x of spades that I really don't think could ever fold. Right? But some of them might just go for a check back, like not value bet themselves. So I think we have to bet here. Obviously, like, I don't think we have the best hand every time, right? He can have a boat, he can have a straight. But I think that we get enough value by jamming. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, cool. So this is a good example of I was talking about earlier on about you know, the feedback we get from this is that the jam was okay. So that looks good, but we lost the hand, right? So, you know, you have to move away from the result, like care less about the result and more about how you're playing. I think it's a really, really important skill. Check call or check raise. I'm going to go for a call. And I'm going to call again with a pair and a gut shot. And I'm going to check. And he jams, and I think that we have a call. So we block Jack 8, we block Queen X that can take this line. He could have some random bluffs here. So yeah, I'm going to go for a call. Ooh. It's bad, but he did have a bluff. So again, like, this is exactly what I was just talking about in that last hand. Like, I made a bad play on the river. Like, you can see it's a minus EV call. So just because I doubled up in that hand because he ended up having a bluff doesn't mean that I played the hand well. I think that'd be a good time to pause and to see some of these spots that we got wrong. So let's do that now. Let's start with that Queen 8 hand. In fact, the great thing about this is that we can go straight to the node and see. Okay, so we had Queen 8 off, clearly not with the 8 of diamonds, and yeah. Jandro's saying, call always muck versus humans. No one blasts those king highs in the real world. I agree. But it was still a bad call, right? It was still a minus EV call, as you can see on screen right now. So, yeah, interesting that we should call Queen 4 and not Queen 8. So clearly my thinking about blocking a hand like Jack 8 is incorrect. And that we would sooner completely unblock stuff. Like, maybe he's turning an 8x into a bluff. I'm not sure. Let's go back. Yeah. So Jack 8 is in there. king. So we block king 8, and yeah, it doesn't look like the 8x is actually bluffing that much. So sometimes, like, if it gets you to fold like top pair with a specific kicker, it's because you're blocking your opponent's bluffing range. But I don't think that's what's going on here, because you can see 8-7 checks back, queen 8 checks, ace 8 checks, ace 8 checks. So yeah, not 100% sure what's going on. What is going on here? But yeah, we should call queen 3 because he never bluffs 3. Maybe it is just that full frequency king 8 hand then, so that's why we fold queen 8. But then there's no like king 3, king 4, so we end up calling queen 3 and queen 4, as you can see down here. Let's see if the same thing happened. Yeah, so king 5, king 6, king 7, and then we fold queen 5, queen 6, queen 7. So yeah, I think that's probably it, but we're small margins here. Let's have a look at another spot that we got wrong. Let's go back to the right at the start where we had the gut shot. And I should have folded on the flop. Okay, so we checked. They went for the 62% pot bet, and I called with queen 8 of clubs. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good takeaway for me, and hopefully for you guys as well. That yeah, we can't. We have a gut shot, but we want to have a flush draw or a backdoor flush draw to go with it in order to call here. Diego says, does villain jam river with missed flush draws? Because if he does, it's bad for us to have the queen of diamonds. The queen of diamonds is kind of irrelevant because it's top pair, and he's not bluffing with like queen x of diamonds. He would be value betting, I think. So it's the queen. Us having the queen of diamonds is not relevant in that hand. Okay, so yeah, that's a pretty big takeaway that we should just fold. And looking at other gut shots as well, so 10-7 just continues with the flush draw. So it's like 10-7 doesn't have an overcard, so needs to just have a flush draw. Queen 8 has an overcard and can have a backdoor flush draw as well. King Queen has 2 overcards and a gut shot, so you get to continue all of them. So it's pretty cool. Okay, where else did we make the biggest EV mistake? Oh yeah, King 3. So this spot where we called a small bet on the Queen 3-2 board. The turn 5 of diamonds, check, and then we decided to bet, and then he raised them and we called, and we should have just gone for a check fold. I think we already looked at this this hand. Let's have a look at this other one, Queen 8 board. Okay, yeah, this was the I mean, this is me just getting a bit excited and carried away. So he's going to go for a range bet, and then 10-6 10-6 of diamonds is just pure fold. So that's again a pretty big takeaway. That we do get to do a decent amount of raising. You see 25%, but in 21% call, and quite a huge amount of folding as well. But 10-6 is just a little bit too much. What about 10-9 to gut shot though? So that's not going to fold. 7-6. What does that do? No, still can't. Okay, yeah, I'm convinced that we definitely were massively out of line with this check raise with 10-6 of diamonds. But yeah, we're going to check raise some Queen X and some gut shots with flush draw blocker, but also can use it further down the line. I'm going to do some bluffing with high cards as well. So it's pretty. Yeah, I think that's really good to see that we're going for more of a bluff with high cards. Probably as soon as I think I said this earlier on, but as soon as we start to raise, we strengthen our opponent's range, and so it's better to have an overcard and then a backdoor flush draw and backdoor straight draw than like 10-6 of diamonds, which even if you improve to a 10 or a 6, like you're still not in great shape. Can you check what 10-6 does versus a smaller sizing? No, there's only 2 sizes available, so this is the small bet. So there's 3, but so quarter pot, 62%, which is the geometric sizing, and an all-in bet, which is 5x pot. So versus the small bet, we that's what I was talking about. We are finding the fold. All right, so that's apparently, according to the hand history, that's what I call it on PIO on the other screen that I've got here. There are only those 4 hands where we lost EV, so that's pretty good to see, I think. In fact, I can show you this because maybe I kind of know what I'm talking about. So I think that there are always going to be things to improve. But so we had the Queen 8 hand where we ended up calling the river, and we were better off calling like Queen 4 and Queen 3 and unblocking his bluffs, like with King 8 of spades, for example. The Queen 8 7 board, we just got way carried away with the 10 6 of diamonds. It should just be a fold. We should just check fold with third pair here. That's it. I'm going to look at that later because I thought it was just a very clear block, and we go from there. And then the Queen 8 of clubs, so versus a big bet without the backdoor flush draw is just a fold. So I think that's some pretty good takeaways. So I think using tools like this is really cool. So you've got PIOs built in GTO Trainer. You can do the same thing with simple GTO Trainer, and you can do the same thing with products like DTO. I think it's really good. So I definitely recommend that, and I definitely recommend marking the hands. I mean, this does it for us, like just highlights right here where we've made the four EV mistakes. But you do get the feedback in those other apps and programs as well. So it's it's good to then just be able to go into it and to see where you're going wrong and what you can learn from it. And of course, like, we're never trying to play perfectly, and we're also got to be thinking about how we think population plays. But what we're trying to get from this is big takeaways and light bulb moments, and spots, sort of like the bits that are going to help you in the future, rather than like trying to know exactly what to do in every single spot. So I think there's really big takeaways. So not getting carried away on these paired boards with a backdoor flush draw and a weak backdoor straight draw. I try and just continue with the hands that you'd expect to see. And it actually was continuing more with like the King Jack and King 10 with a spade and stuff. So I really enjoyed seeing that. Queen 8 ended up being a bad call on the river. I mean, we ended up winning the hand, but again, this is like just to sort of tie it all together from what I was saying throughout this session, is that try and focus on the feedback that matters and not the result, because we won that hand, and we shouldn't have called the river, and probably in practice we are doing even worse, right? Because they're not finding, as Jandro says on Twitch, like, they're not finding these suited kings to blast off. So yeah, I think this was really fun. Thanks to you guys for being here. If you haven't done so already, hit the follow button on Twitch. And if you want to check out some free strategy videos, then head over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/MTT Poker School. And finally, I'm off now to do a group study session with my group coaching program. If you are interested in joining that program and getting access to that group study session and the interactive webinars every single week and the members only Discord server, then go to mttpokerschool.com and scroll down to where it says coaching and apply now, and make sure that you check group coaching on there. Tell me that you're interested in group coaching, and then I will be in touch. On that note, guys, take care, and I'll see you next week for more. Cheers. Bye-bye.